Hey guys, it's me, Wholesome Boy, and today for a Halloween special, I'm just gonna be reading out spooky stories with Corn and Catalacc. And Catalacc and I are just gonna read the stories. Corn's just gonna.
Yeah, because Corn's a little wee wee poo poo.
I'm busy.
They're not Corn. You just don't want to read them. Corn, you're not a true Halloween man.
Are you not the spooky boy? Are you whippersnapper? All you do is care about your video games. Alright, let's get into it.
Hold on, I gotta scare your store sounds.
I'm eating freaking candy. Skip it, play the This Is Halloween, and then get me super duper copyrighted. Thanks, Danny Elfman. Is he still alive? I don't know.
Probably not.
And I don't care that much.
Hold on.
He makes good music though. I'm just eating Halloween candy while we're doing this too, so my audio is just gonna pick up all that stuff. Number 15.
Burger King foot lettuce.
Burger King foot lettuce. Skip. Oh, that's gonna get me even more copyrighted. Oh my god.
Alright, there.
Dark piano for dark thoughts. Alright. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this is actually so much better.
This is very better. I can actually hear it too. Let me turn it up just for effect. 116. Wait, alright, it's really silent so I can actually hear you. Alright, there we go.
I'm like streaming this for like an hour or 2 or 3.
I'm gonna close
I'm gonna just play this a couple times just in case this takes a while.
You know what? I just realized I could have done this for my phone, but I don't. I've gotten too far now. So.
Yep. Alright, read off
11.
12.
11. A reminder from the past. Sounds like a freaking audiobook. Redditor YB Lovat shared this story to warn people about their childhood toys. You can sell them for a lot of money. When I was around 16, my rapidly growing family finally moved from the house I had spent my entire life in. As you would expect, we spent a lot of time fondly remembering things we used to do in the house as we were packing everything up. At some point, I decided to go downstairs, to the downstairs closet with a flashlight and read, something I used to do when I was younger to get some peace and quiet. Now this is one of those deep closets that goes under the stairs, like Harry Potter. It went back around 8 feet, and then it had a left turn into a very low, maybe 3-foot high space. This space was largely occupied by a mountain of old blankets and stuffed animals. Of course, this is the most fluffy spot to sit and read, because you know your boy needs their fluff. About an hour, I almost said hour. About an hour in, I shift a little to get more comfortable, and I hear a low, slow, warped, hoarse voice say, "You always make me happy." I flipped my crap, hit my head on the low ceiling, and practically broke the door down getting out. After hyperventilating and explaining to my family why there was no color left on my face, I went back to see what it was. It was my stuffed little bear from when I was 3 or 4 years old that I happened to learn lean on just right to press his belly. Oh. When I pressed his stomach again though, nothing. This poor bear I hadn't played with since I was a toddler. Last of its power, used its dying breath to tell me I made it happy. You make me happy too, little bear. When you're not making me crap myself.
Alright, now I get to read 12, which is really short.
Alright, okay, I'm gonna get those ads out of the way so I don't. There we go. 12 is very short. The story comes
I get
from...
number 13, like a whole actual essay.
You do. This story comes from Reddit user. Okay, this is getting loud. I have to turn that down. I have to turn that
Oh
down.
god, it's getting loud.
It is getting loud. There we go. This story comes from Reddit user. My name's not Chase. I thought it was cheese, so I almost broke into laughter. I saw a dead soldier's ghost in my barracks room before I deployed. It was the guy's room who died on my company's last deployment, and I was the first to be issued it. He told me to be safe. He had the F aid. I'm not that agnostic, but that makes me question it. Shut up, Game Grumps. I had two other experiences that I am not quite convinced about, but my great-grandma used to visit me in my dreams after she died for like 15 years.
Oh, so his dead grandma haunted him.
Oh yeah, I've seen my grandma in my sleep for about 15 years. So, yeah. Water under the bridge.
Now I get to read a whole 2 essays worth of things. Then you get the final story. Though I have to find another site for this stuff.
Haha, we did.
Hold on.
Yeah.
The plane ride that never ends. Reddit user Worcester ST shared this story about losing track of time on a continental flight. I've been flying for almost 30 hours and the flight attendants won't stop crying. 30 hours ago, I hopped on a late night flight from New York heading to Los Angeles. After boarding it, I saw I had an entire road to myself. Take off, passed out with the incident, and soon I was stretched out for a nap across the row. I slept for a few hours, don't know how long, but I woke up to some severe turbulence. It's possible that the lights in the cabin went out for a moment, but I was so disoriented that it's hard to say. I checked my phone to see that it is 4:30 a.m.,
Oh jeez.
which I figured gave me about an hour until we landed. When I looked out my window, I was shocked to see nothing but wide open ocean.
Oh.
My jaw dropped. There was obviously no ocean between New York and Los Angeles.
Unless they're going like the freaking scenic route through Asia. Oh yeah, let's go this way.
I hit the button to call the flight attendant and spent the next few minutes racking my brain for a lake that could have possibly been big enough to explain what I was seeing. I jumped when the flight attendant flipped off the light. She was grinning from ear to ear, and tears were pouring from her cheeks. How can I help you, sir? She asked. I froze for a moment at her reaction before deciding to ask my own question. Where are we? Why does it look like we're flying over
Oh
ocean?
wait, is it being like taken over or something?
She wiped her cheeks. She wiped her cheeks to clear the tears, still grinning widely. Sir, we'll be landing in about an hour. Okay, thank you, I said.
Okay.
After she left, I checked the clock on my phone again. 4:03 a.m. blinked back at me. It hadn't changed. I had to be waiting with my call light on for at least 5 minutes. How was it possible that hadn't changed at all? I opened up my laptop and saw it too displayed 4:03 a.m. I pulled out my phone between a stopwatch and the app. I spent the next 2 hours looking back and forth between the clocks, waiting for them to change. They never did. I tapped on the shoulder of an older woman sitting in the row ahead of me. She looked back and a noise freshened across her face. Yes, she said.
Yes.
Do you know how long until we land? I asked. She narrowed her eyes. The flight attendant said it would be another hour. I shook my head in confusion. That flight attendant? We talked almost 2 hours ago. We should have landed already. She stared at me as if I was crazy. I was going to continue to try and convince her, but I felt a hand on my shoulder and spun to see a male flight attendant grinning down at me, tears pinging off his cheeks onto my shoulder.
No.
Sir, I'm going to ask you to calm down. I'll be calling the captain. I told him that wouldn't be necessary and sat back. He moved his hand and stepped away.
Don't make me turn this plane around.
The flight, the flight attendants continue to stop by every few hours offering meals. My stopwatch continued to tick up and now it's telling me that I've been on this plane for more than 30 hours. I've explored all of the coach and tried talking to some other passengers, but they've all told me that they're expecting to land an hour or so ago. About 3 hours ago, I tried getting into first class. I made it past the curtain rows and swerved back by two grinning flight attendants. Their grip on my arms were like iron. Sir, the seatbelt sign is on, one said. Please remain in your seat. With your buckle fastened, we'll be landing in about an hour. I had just given up hope when a woman came by the aisle dressed in a business suit. She didn't look at me or slow down, but she dropped a piece of paper onto a tray and made her way to the bathroom on the back of the plane. I shot a look for unrolling it. I said, "Are you stuck too?"
Did you pronounce ISIL?
It said, "Are you stuck too?" I pulled out a pen and wrote, "Yes, it's been 30 hours."
Oh,
I
jeez.
folded the scrap paper up and sent it on the tray closest to the ISIL. She left the bathroom and picked it up as she passed. It's been 20 minutes since then. I don't know why, but I don't think the flight attendants would like if they knew we were talking. Doesn't matter. I have to do something. I'll update you all with whatever happens next.
Wait, he's still on the plane? They're still on the plane?
Yeah. It's from
What?
Reddit. I don't know there's a story because I heard it on YouTube. There's like a continued part where she like gets taken to the captain and then comes out and says, "We still have an hour left." And it's like really dramatic. Alright, time for
We
number
still
14.
have an hour left.
A home invader tries every house in the cul-de-sac. This terrifying story comes from Reddit user Suitology. Told the story of my parents' old house when I was living with them before college. I live in a small cul-de-sac in the middle of nowhere. The next nearest neighborhood is over 4 miles away. One night, a few years ago, we got over 1.5 feet of snow overnight. So far from the main roads, and on the weekend, I knew our roads will remain unplowed for quite some time. I went out to my back deck door to look at the snow, draped trees, and still heavy, falling flurries. And I take some pictures when I noticed footprints leading to my door, then turning around and leaving. I looked and saw that they came from my neighbor's side and thought that one of their more delinquent kids played a joke as my sledding tube on the railing was popped. I decided I'd wait till later, as it was early to call their parents. I went on Facebook and after scrolling a bit, noticed that one of my neighbors, closer to the entrance, posted, "Did someone knock for me or something on my back door?"
Did someone knock?
I immediately called her, talked and told her I had an idea. I called the first house on the entrance, told them about what's going on, and went and checked. Sure enough, they were there too. I went and started calling everyone else. I called the family at the next far, and they told me that there was none there. Then I got a call from my next door neighbor. She called the woman that lives in the end house. She said there were footprints that led to her door, but none led away. We already called the police by this point, but now we called them back and said that there's an emergency now. They told us that the roads were still all unplowed and they can't send a plow truck to clear the way, as they are a privately owned company. The woman was losing it, and so were their husbands. A huge bear of a man crossed the road from her, texted us saying he was coming over to invite her over. He came and she left. We all put one guy's live feed motion recording hunting cameras facing all exits. Nothing came out. Around 7 p.m. a plow truck came as well as 3 cop cars. The couple she was staying with and went to the house, stood at the doorway, the police search. They found nothing. She begged them to keep looking, so they did. 2 cops went in the basement again. This time only one came up, took her to the side room. We could hear her still crying. But now we were all there. Me and a few other guys started towards the door when several police confronted us. They told us they found someone hiding under the opening stairwell that she didn't even know existed. A few minutes later, a scruffy man steaming and kicking out came in cuffs and was led away.
Oh.
In this little camp out, they found blankets she just cleaned and put away the room next to hers. He stayed in other people's houses for a long time before going back. Even then, she wouldn't stay alone. She sold the house the next summer. He turned out to be a thrill-seeking junkie who was on probation for assault against a family member. Cops told us that they feel like he didn't want to stay at this apartment after a fight with his roommate, drove his roommate's car from the country, and got stuck in our unplowed roads.
Wow.
And this is why you always make sure your doors are locked.
Unlike that mom.
I don't like that.
It's
I don't like their ex-psycho boyfriend.
Ooh, pandas. Ooh. I see
house.
everything. I don't think
Oh
it would have
God.
made it. I don't think I would have made it if I grew up in Reddit user Panda's house. There's just Pennywise under it. I was with my little brother saying Home Alone when we suddenly heard a creepy voice from the other room saying, Panda, come here. I want to talk to you. We didn't know who or what it was and immediately ran upstairs. While we were running to our room, we heard someone nearby say,
Do you boys think you can run from me? I see everything.
Oh God, that's scary.
Corn's just not even doing anything, just dead silent.
Corn's like he's not like Genga's dad, like getting a gun right now. He's like freaking out in real life.
He's not even muted. He just unplugged his microphone.
Yeah, he's like, I think since we're saying all these stories, he's imagining that he's in them and that they're all happening. He's having like delusions of him being the people in all these stories. So now
That
he's
reminds me
freaking
of
out.
something. I forgot what. The Giver. Like
Yeah,
when
the
they share
Giver,
the memories. I know
Yeah.
this because I had.
I read the whole
school
Giver.
once. Yeah, I read
Yeah,
the whole
same.
Giver and the movie. I read the Giver books
Same.
twice and the movies twice.
Yeah.
The
Alright,
first
continue
Giver
the
and the
story.
movie was at my house in California, and then the book and the movie was for school this year, which is kind of funny.
Alright, now continuing the scary story.
Spooky. At this point, we were terrified, locking the door to our room, grabbing our mini baseball bats, and crying. We were certain we were going to be killed or eaten by some monster. Then it happened. A loud bang came from the closet, and the monster sprang up. Oh, Jesus. We both screamed. My brother fell, and I threw the bat at my dad, wearing an Hit Clown hat, laughing hysterically. Turns out he was behind the whole thing. First, he had put all the cordless phones to the house on speaker and said he was leaving to run some errands. Then he proceeded to sneak back into the house, hide in our closet, and scare us. Now I understand the Pennywise. Related gifts. Ooh, yeah, and that's it.
Alright, now, oh man, now we have to find a new story site. Scary stories.
Scare. Hey Jimmy, you got
I'm going
any
on
scary
Reddit.
stories?
Her Reddit scary stories.
Reddit scary stories.
Alright, r/no sleep.
Oh, are you gonna send me the link?
Okay.
Okay. Nah, Chief, I'm good. Not anymore.
r/no sleep.
Also, no sleep. Ooh, Reddit.
Alright, I'm just gonna. Oh wait, I need to read the. Oh yeah, I already read the final story. It was really bad.
Bad.
Alright, I'm gonna. Also, the stories on this are gonna be insanely long, so we each just read one then switch.
Oh wait, one
have to
sentence and then
find-
switch. We have to find one long one.
Look, they're like actually all so long. I just found one. It's like
oh.
actually like 10 paragraphs.
Posted by
Okay, I'll just.
Richard Saxon 18 hours ago. We're not allowed to leave our homes on Halloween. Let's read that one.
Yeah, I was gonna read that one actually. I had it open. We're not allowed to leave. Our
I didn't. I
homes on
just
Halloween.
saw it and I was like, hey, that looks like a long thing. But yeah, that is long.
I sat quietly by the door with a shotgun in hand.
Oh, boy.
Halloween had just arrived, and I anxiously awaited the yearly session trick-or-treat. As always, I turned off all the lights, boarded up the windows, and removed any door signs, as it usually did the trick. Yet I was on edge.
My only
only
window
window-
was in the outside world, was through a tiny peephole at the door. It was enough to witness the hundreds of tiny creatures walking around the street all dressed up as various disfigured costumes.
Oh, you know, I meant like we each read a story, like a whole thing.
Oh.
Just stay the heck away from me, as I mumbled to myself. Should any horrific small monsters approach my door, I was ready to pull the trigger.
Oh my
Still,
God.
that would only provide me a minuscule opportunity to escape. There were simply too many of them, more arriving by each passing year. My best bet would be to remain quiet. One costume child in particular caught my attention. It was a little faceless creature. I pondered how it even eat without a mouth. The question was quickly answered as its abdomen tore open, revealing rows upon rows of razor-sharp teeth.
Is it like one
I
of those
sure-
skin-tight costumes with like the teeth on the bottom of the chin and then the rest like on your shoulders or something?
I can't tell if this is like a paranormal type story or what.
No, I think this dude's just really scared of
That
Halloween.
it's either that or he's like actually delusional. He's actually just shooting up kids on Halloween that come to his door.
Oh.
Better
Here's my
stay the
eyes.
heck away from me.
I shared as my eyes wandered to the next mangled monstrosity, an armless, headless creature dragging itself across the ground with dark tendrils. But something else existed among the hexscape before me, something moving differently from all other things. A kid. For reasons I cannot comprehend, a child had ventured off into the broken world of Halloween, futilely trying to escape. He wasn't screaming nor calling out for help. He was simply trying to get away. I just sat there in awe for seconds, a few seconds, trying to process the reality of what I was witnessing. My first thought was that it had to be a trick. Then he tripped, but that something deep inside me awoke, an instinct I hadn't felt for years. Without hesitation, I banged through the front door. The kid wasn't far away, just across the street, but I had absolutely no confidence that either of us would make it back inside alive. I still had to try. I ran through the masked figures, each of them looking like a child dressed in a creative Halloween costume. That's because they were. Within a few seconds, I made it to the kid. Before I could pull him up, one of the creatures lunged at us, ready to strike. I pulled up my shotgun and pulled the trigger. Its head, which looked oddly similar to Mickey Mouse, blew
Oh
over.
my God.
The creature fell to the ground, but it still wasn't dead. Just lay there, drawing itself around, trying to grasp on us. Before another one got the chance to strike, I pulled a young boy from the ground. We retreated back inside my house. We escaped, but it had come to the cost of my hideout. They knew we were inside, and it wouldn't take them long to break through the door. Why the heck did we go out there? I asked. We were going home for curfew, but the monsters came earlier this year. The boy cried. He couldn't have been older than 10, and he wasn't in particularly good shape. Oh, so they actually are monsters. These aren't
Oh.
kids. These are actual monsters. Where
Huh.
are your parents? He just cried, "They're dead! The monsters killed them!"
Wait, what if for like your English class for Halloween, they just open Reddit on the projector
Alright,
and then
everyone,
they're
tell
like,
scary
okay,
stories." I
class,
just pulled
time
up
to read
Reddit,
this.
r/notes. What are we gonna do, the child? Their dad, they were already hammering on my door, desperately trying to break through. Despite their childlike appearance, they were unfathomably strong and intelligent. What are we gonna do, the child asked. But my mind couldn't function fast enough. Instead, I just wondered how it all come to this. The very first creatures that appeared here before would just celebrate Halloween like normal. Decorations covered the neighborhood, and children were running around in hundreds of different costumes. Handmade custom candies that looked like blood-filled syringes. It was just gel inside a plastic tube, but the kids loved it. But that very year, one of them was inexplicably missing. There hadn't been any adults present at the time of the disappearance. According to the other kids around, there had been a faceless child wandering the streets among them. So it's like actually Among Us.
Among
There's an
Us. I was just
imposter.
gonna say that.
At first, they just assumed it was an incredibly cool costume. But as the skin started sliding off the body and its tendrils started growing from its head, they tried to escape. Unfortunately, one of the kids that caught on the tendrils and was left behind never did be seen again.
Oh
Of
no.
course, the government called these kids out as unreliable eyewitnesses and started their own fruitless investigation. As the next year rolled around, adults were required to accompany their children on the yearly round of trick or treat.
They should do that already.
Alas, that year, even more children and adults alike vanished from the face of the earth. Then the next year, and the next, and the next, and the next. It took far too long before we realized exactly what was going on. Halloween became a forbidden holiday with a mandatory curfew after 5 p.m. For years, those who remained inside were mostly fine. Those dumb enough to venture outside in the dark November 31st hardly came back. What are we gonna do? The kid asked. Just moments ago I had saved his life. Though I feared our safety would be short-lived, I had come up with a plan before the monsters broke through. Had my family been still around, I wouldn't have even opened the door. But they were among the first victims. I had nothing left to keep me alive. My first idea was to leave through the back door, but then we short on that act. I had to find a way to save the child, even if it meant my own demise. After a moment of contemplation, I decided to go on the only feasible chance of escape. Come on, kids, time to get you to safety. I led him to the back door with only a minute left before the creature got through. You know my name, or Mr. Jack. My name,
As
Mr.
I got
Jack.
to the
I had
window, there was a sound of a crescendo.
Is Michael Jackson just his
Shut
neighbor?
up! I'm reading r/no sleep.
I'm sorry.
I lost my spot.
The kid nodded.
Wait. Hold on, I need to find it. I'm almost there.
I'm telling you, it was you. It was the kid nodded.
You know my name, or Mr. Jackson? I asked. The kid nodded. He was one of the only few to grant strangers refuge in his house during Halloween. He typically locked the doors since once a nightfall flew over town. But if I distracted the monstrosities that occupy the street, the kid might just have a chance to gain his attention. I need to run over to his house, climb the drain pipe, and knock on his bedroom window. Can't do that, I asked. Again, he just nodded, panic rising through his body. What about you? I'm gonna stay here, buy some time, and I get the heck out of here. I gave the kid a gentle push at the door and pointed my shot against the cracking front door. It had been just in time. They had broken through. I fired around at the first monster, which pushed them all back outside, if only for a second. Still, the shot was loud enough to alert every single monster crowding the neighborhood.
Oh.
As they all rushed inside my house, I retreated upstairs into my bedroom. As a record pace, I boarded up the door, trapped myself inside. I checked my ammunition, knowing I could take out a few at best. I only had about a minute left before they get through. I'm recording this bench as my last spoken words on this planet. A voice meant to explain that I didn't give up my life for nothing. I just hope they don't
Oh wait, it's a link. I'm gonna click on that link. Oh, it's just Facebook. Okay.
Imagine you have a virus now.
And wait, hopefully your neighbor helped that kid and your efforts weren't in vain. Rip
Yeah.
OP. Yeah, hopefully Mr. Jackson is great with children. And let's hope he's not too good with children. Wait, no? OP's alive, Pog. Like the other Jacksons.
Alright, now go back
Good
and
stuff.
scroll down a bit more. And there's another one by Richard Saxon called They Locked Down Our Entire Town and Put a Wall Around It. It won't be enough to save the world.
Oh, I can't find that one. I see I see
You said-
people on this plane keep dying and we're not allowed to look through the windows. There was a reason why my neighbor's Halloween decorations always look so realistic.
Where are you at?
I don't know.
How far down? Go back and click the link I sent you again.
Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that might be why. I clicked on the thing and I didn't go out. Richard Saxon.
They locked down our entire town. And
Yeah. So I have to
Why?
read that one? Why does it keep
Yeah.
scrolling back up? Why does it say I successfully logged in? Oh. There it is. Please don't be too long. Oh, it's long. After this one, I think I'm gonna stop recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll still keep reading though.
Probably. I gotta stretch first.
Oh, Mario. Oh,
Alright,
Mario.
let's do this.
Alright, let's do this.
What?
I unmuted my mic just to say shut up, Alex.
What?
Oh, Mario.
Wait, you're muted? It didn't say you were muted.
Yeah, it's because I muted my actual mic on Discord.
Oh wait, what are you even
Mario.
doing?
I was like, I got a refund for my fake SD card. Well, I'm gonna
you
get
just
one.
went to
Or can I have it
talk to your dad about
instead?
it?
I did the thing on Amazon and now I gotta like go to a store and get a refund.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I can't just like have it mailed,
Jeez.
but I don't care.
Okay. Alright, well I'm gonna read a story now. You want to hear it, Byzyk? Go on.
We've literally just been on r/no sleep reading stories.
We've done one so far. I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do
Yeah,
one more.
they're so long because it's Reddit. They do good stories.
And then I'm gonna finish recording because I'm pretty sure this is long enough.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna keep
Yeah,
reading them.
I'm
for
just gonna
fun.
do this unedited because this is like, yeah, it says like 31 minutes of footage. How much has this been going for? 31:45. Alright. Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna read it. The last survivors gathered at the town center, all of us desperate for our daily ration. Dark skies loomed above, obscured by bizarre clouds hiding us from daylight. Ironically, our town has once been nicknamed the Sunshine City, a faint memory of better times. On that particular day, it had been 1 year since our entire town was quarantined without notice.
Ooh.
Overnight, a wall stretching endlessly far up into the sky had been erected all around us. How much do we have left? I asked the distributor. He was a tall, lanky man who'd once been our police chief. Once a well-built man, but now a little more than a skeleton, wearing a suit of thin skin. Does it really matter? He asked as he handed me a paper bag containing little more than bare necessities. Those things are gonna take us out long before we starve. He was right. Our once crowded streets had been reduced to barren wastelands. The few of us that hadn't yet been taken by the creatures were just patiently awaiting our deaths. This is depressing. The first night of our quarantine, we received a final transmission from the government. I'd fallen asleep in front of my TV, and I was startled awake by a high-pitched beep. Beep! After a few seconds of the incessant noise, a monotonous voice took over. We interrupt this program. This is a national emergency. Important instructions will follow. Another high-pitched beep paused the voice. Beep! The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. The town of Greenville has been affected by an artificial organism. Due to its destructive nature, Greenville is to be put under quarantine until further notice. Remain calm and stay inside until the situation is contained. That was all. That was all. They'd given us the tiniest sliver of information and abandoned us without a functioning phone network, nor internet, nor aid. Because we all need those band-aids, bro. Band-aid. During the first night, a small portion of the townspeople decided to leave. Each person that tried had been torn to shreds, and their stuff was around town. Those of us stayed inside, patiently await government help, but after a week with no supplies, we were forced to venture out and search for food. We also slowly turned Russian. Our town center became a hub for distribution of resources. What was that? I heard wind noise. No, it's nothing. Well, we
The
initially...
story just starts coming to real life for you. You just look at saying see a creature out there.
I just
It's
hear like a
beep on your TV.
I just hear a loud bang and then
We gotta interrupt this program. It's a
We interrupt
national
this program.
emergency.
the following message is transmitted at the request of the U.S. government.
It's like you're freaking out in real life.
Uh,
You're just like reading off the rest of the story.
No, and then my
You're just, like,
internet
reading the rest
cuts
of the
off,
story
and then
off
my last words were like, "What the heck?"
You just like frankly read the story to figure out what to do. Because it's clearly a guide on how to live.
Clearly.
Or I saw like a Reddit story where it was like over where there's just like so they were like snowed in and it happened yearly and there would be like creatures that'd be outside and the weather place would always say don't go outside.
Don't go outside.
Or
And then they went outside like the idiots people are.
Oh wait, no, it said don't go outside and don't use light or fire.
Don't use.
But light and fire actually drives those creatures away, so it was actually the opposite.
Oh
That means that
my
people who
God,
were
the
saying it were
government.
actually those creatures. So they were trying to reverse psychology so that the creatures could get to you. And there was a bunker that had light and fire and it kept them all away.
It wasn't really reverse psychology. It was just lying.
Yeah. It lied to them, and then they almost died, but then they turned on a fire because they thought that it'd attract them, but then it repelled them, and that's how they
Say,
lived.
okay, fine. If you're gonna kill me, I might as well make you super angry doing something. And they're like, fire.
he tried to sacrifice his life for his girlfriend to live, but instead of doing that, he saved both of them, basically. Alright, continue the story.
Okay. Well, we initially had enough food to last months, if not years. Most of it would spoil in the coming weeks as we lost a significant chunk of the town's electricity. We regrouped the population into hosting complexes, each by safety in numbers. The people keep the time passed, community grew smaller. This is taking a lot of time, so I'm just skipping to the good parts. 2,000 people who once flourished has shrunk to mere 100. During time, 20 of escape attempts were made, all equally hopeless. The wall was made out of a material none of us could recognize, reaching up as far as it did down into the ground. They just like spray painted it a different color and they didn't recognize it. I guess you're right, I told the distributor as I sighed. How about the people? How many are left?
You don't want to know.
He said somberly. It was the bleakest moment so far during the quarantine, and I assured I'd be picked up as my last ration. I headed on, ready to succumb to the explosion. May it be starvation or monsters. I turned to the corner of my community and I was... Yeah, the piano's okay. I was met with another bad scene. Dozens of people that were not living lay on the ground, and their insides were outsides on the street, and the walls were painted in the life juice. If not for the clothes left behind, I wouldn't have recognized them as my housing group. Then I noticed something. I shift slightly in the dark, far too large to be human. Not even for a moment did I contemplate escape. I was simply too weak. There was a pitch black being covered in razor sharp blades. It danced gently in the shadows.
I used
I
to
just
see
imagine
you
a
at
ballerina.
the movies.
I just imagine like a ballerina dancing in the dark.
No, it was like doing the never gonna give you up dance. It was like
Finish the story for Corbin because I know he's probably listening. I need to go do something really quickly.
Alright, I'm gonna continue without you then.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright. whirling around itself like a massive snake made from twisted metal. As I wait exceptionally death, I noticed something coming down the wall of my apartment complex. It was another one of these things silently claiming tongue, then another appeared from the alley, and before long there was dozens surrounding me. It was magnificent, yet horrifying sight to behold. They stood there staring intently at me with their eyeless bodies, then without as much harming a hair on my head, they just left. Whoa, what a dramatic change in music. That was actually pretty cool. It was a magnificent yet horrifying sight to behold. They just stood They stood there staring intently at me with their eyeless bodies, then without as much harming a hair. Oh wait, I already read that. Went inside and collapsed on my bed. I don't know how many people remained alive. I know I didn't care as far as I concerned that I would be dead this informator. Oh, it's over there. Once I woke the next morning, I stumbled out into the street, feeling a hint of regret about my carelessness. I spent the entire day searching for survivors, to no avail. In their absence, I moved from chunks of left behind, but none of the horrific creatures in sight. That's when I saw the tiniest ray of sunshine penetrating through the darkness, touching me with its warmth of its glistening fingers. It came through the crack on the wall, with 100 feet above ground. I realized then why I had been spared, because the creatures didn't like me anymore. How much could one scrawly man feed them compared to the millions that lived in blissful ignorance outside? With the breach in the wall, I finally had a way of contacting the outside world, so I'm writing this, not a cry for help, nor as an explanation for what happened, but as a warning. These creatures, whatever the heck they are, have escaped.
And none of you stand a chance.
Comment!
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh. Ooh. Do I have any more candy? Let me check. How did I already eat all of the candy? No, the fat one. I don't care. Because I don't care. Looks or anything. Whoa, whoa, I don't care. Alright, well I guess for Halloween it is done. It is done. So, Catalacc, I'm not sure if he is here or not, but but if he comes back, I'll ask him to say bye or whatever. And yeah, that's it. So, happy Halloween, everyone. So, if I'm doing this, and then when I post it on YouTube, there will be a end credit scene here. So I'm just gonna sing spooky song.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will see the small town of Halloween. This is Halloween, pumpkins scream in the dead of night. This is Halloween, everybody make a scene, trick or treat, to the nervous gonna die of fright. It's our town, everybody scream in this town of Halloween.
Yeah, and that's all I know. So, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry. I'm back.
Dude, I'm just making the end thing too.
All right, what one are we on? What are you doing?
I finished the story and Corn left, so just say goodbye to the viewers.